We are a couple who wants to encourage you to live your best life and welcome you to a family. We are a carefree people with expressive vibes. So tune in with us, cause we're your teammates on Team Rochelle. Yeah, so tune in with us on Team Rochelle. We'll give you the best advice on Team Rochelle. We're a family, yeah. Team Rochelle. You rolling with Team Rochelle. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is
Team Rochelle. And guys, we are back. We're biggity back. It is Sunday. We're so glad and honored that you decided to spend time with us. We love you. We love you. We love you. This is episode 2, Dos. And basically what we're doing is we are talking with teammates today. Yes, you viewers are getting a chance to collaborate and talk with us. But before we get to that, Madeline has something to announce. Madeline?
Well, we have Teammate of the Week.
Teammate of the Week!
The people
Drum roll,
that we
please.
announced.
I'm kidding. I totally cut you off, my bad. Go ahead.
You did.
I'm sorry.
Strike one. So we have Teammate of the Week. The people that are just awesome, people that we just love and want to shout out and are super, who are contributing and who are awesome. And so this week we have Cynthia
and
Calissa.
Cynthia and Calissa, everybody give it up.
First of all, we love them.
Yeah,
that's just
great
first
people.
of all. Second of all, we are just thankful for them. They're constantly contributing to what we're doing, have been there, are helpful, are lovely people. K-Dog is a kick booty dancer. If you've never watched her videos, put her Instagram below, because she's amazing.
Yeah, and not only that, they did also answer last week's challenge question, which was, what was your family's superpower? And their family is very punny. Punny. They make a lot of puns, and it's true, because I've been around, and we've been around while they're making puns, so we just want to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you. We'll be sending something in the mail, maybe like a basket or something neat. Just look out for it, okay? Get in your address. All right, so moving on to today's episode of Talking with Teammates, we decided that we wanted to be interactive this season. We wanted conversation and dialogue with relationships and family, because it does not.
Not just our big heads in the camera.
Not just our big heads in the camera. We understand that we aren't the end-all, say-all of relationships, that there are people out there who have varying perspectives. And not to mention, we know people are in relationship with people who have amazing relationships. So we thought, instead of this being a platform where you just hear from us about our relationship, we want to invite others into this so we can get ideas and really start building momentum as a community of teammates who are here to help each other. So this week, who do we have on? Marvin and Joanna Sanders. Woo!
Yes.
We love them. They're our friends. Good friends from Houston. I know, right? And
feeling crazy today.
They are our first guest on the show. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and play their clip. And basically what we do is we ask all teammates to first say something great that helps their relationship, so that we can get a little insight and feedback on stuff that we would like to add to ours and that stuff that you would like to add to yours. And then we ask them to cover an area that they're struggling in.
They need to work on.
That they need to work on, and so
they want to improve.
Maybe we can bring light to it if we've been in a similar situation, or maybe we can just hear it and build awareness of, like, maybe our relationship is reflecting that as well. So we just want to speak to it, and here, just enjoy the clip.
Hello everybody, we are Marvin and Josie, aka Fight with Love, and we just wanted to greet all of you teammates here. We wanted to make sure that we, talked about a couple things that helped our marriage, as well as a couple things that we're still working on. So first, we're going to start off with some things that we did in our marriage. So I'm going to let Josie start off.
So one of the things that Marvin does that really helps our marriage, and that is him being available. And for us, that looks like being home, not being under the influence. He's alert and ready, and even if he's watching a program or on his cellular device, whatever it may be, he's quick to pause those things if I need his help, or if our child needs help, or his family in general needs help. But it's all about making himself available and pausing those things when necessary as situations and circumstances arise. And that really means a lot to me, especially because sometimes you don't know when you might need help a spur of the moment, and it's really helpful that he makes himself available.
And there's actually two things I want to kind of bring reference to as far as what Joanna does to help our marriage. So she's very oriented with scheduling things, placing things in a certain order, so that way that we don't end up overlooking certain things because we both have a tendency to kind of stretch ourselves thin. So she's able to make a note of different things like, oh, this needs to happen on this day, this needs to happen at a certain time. So she's able to format that in a way to where it connects to both of our cellular devices. And that way we can constantly get reminded throughout the day, so we can make sure we take that essential time we need to either plan hours before or minutes before to make sure that we're on top of things. And also, another thing is being able to reach out to people and thank them for different things. Or she never fails to like realize what somebody done in our lives or put a blessing on our lives, and she always wanted to show some type of consideration or some kind of thought, even if it's sending a thank you, sending a video, singing a song, or anything to make sure that that person's gift and blessing to us is cherished. So that's something not only that helps the people around us, but also help our marriage, to help me strengthen my ability to reach out to people when I feel like they're on my mind or anything of sorts. So one thing that I feel like we can work on as a couple is, communication in time of duress. Communication when there's a lot of things going on and we have certain timetables or even different expectations, like being able to manage our expectations in a way to where we're not making each other our God or making each other higher or put one another on a pedestal to where, once that person doesn't meet that expectation, that disappointment level increases dramatically. So teammates, we just want to know if there's something that, any tips that you have that could help us do that, or if you're experiencing anything of that nature. But we want to make sure that we continue sharing different things and make sure that everybody is in a sharing and safe environment. So thank you to the Rochelles. We love rolling with you and hope everybody else roll with you too.
So first of all, we want to say thank you so much to Joe and Marv for taking their time just to film and to send that to us. We thank you guys. We're appreciative of you doing that.
Shout out to them for doing the rolling. Like, that was fire. We saw you. Yeah, we rolling with you. And we fighting with love.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Look, I need to put my coffee down. So thank you guys so much. We just want to go ahead and kind of talk about each point that you guys brought up, and to kind of give our take on it. Maybe something that we learned, something that we're like, hey, that's awesome. And then maybe give some insight that we can share as well from our relationship. So the first is availability, which I love that. When you said that, Joe, I was like, that's so true. Because especially, I think it's you guys are in a unique spot right now too. You're just having a child. You're in the newborn phases.
Lord
it's
Jesus,
so much, Lord Jesus.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's beautiful, but it's a lot. And that's a lot. So, being in a relationship sometimes, just in general, can be a lot. So to have a newborn on top of that, As a mom, I can say availability is like, yes, because sometimes you just get lost so much in your head. Things I need to do, things that I haven't done.
Yeah.
And I think even if you're not a mom, you get in that place too. I mean, with work or the house or things that you want to have, you know, you're like, you have this long list, or your partner, your husband has a long list in their head, and we're all just trying to like get our stuff done. And sometimes it's easy. We found ourselves working sometimes until like 7 or 8 p.m. or we're still on our phones or computer or something. And it's like there has to be a time when you just, you know, stop and you're just there, you're present with your family. Or I love how she said if she needs something or she's talking to Marvin, he's super quick to put down his
Marvin's
phone.
like that, yeah.
He's an awesome guy. He's super quick to just put stuff down and to just be attentive. And I can say that, you know, he's the same, and it's really awesome.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really awesome though, because it's like, you know, first of all, it makes you feel like a priority. So it makes you feel like,
you are
know,
a priority.
Thank you.
You don't have to feel like one. You are.
Well, you know, it's just from that perspective, it's like, you know, that you're more important as an individual, as a couple, as a family. It's like you want to have your family more important than anything else. And so first of all, it makes you feel that. It makes you feel like you have this importance. And then second is just knowing that, you know, you're there for each other and you're going to help and support and do whatever you can for each other whenever you need it, you know. And so I think that's a really awesome point. Availability, it's a great way to say it too, just, you know, being able to access that person. So I love that.
And Marvin, you commented on the organization or reaching out to people. Now I, you know, quite frankly, and I'm just being honest, like I'm good at like reaching out to people. However, when it comes to organization, like say if we're going on a trip or we're performing a show or we're doing something, that is 150% Maddie. I am the worst, like the absolute worst at details. Like, I'm like, just give me the highlights. Don't give me all the other stuff because I will get lost in it. So, yeah, like someone, your spouse who can keep track of those things that you otherwise wouldn't catch because you're not a detail-oriented person, which I learned from taking a personality assessment, which we'll, you know, discuss later on. This is so elemental for couples who want to get better and communicate better. You guys have to take this personality assessment. I swear it'll change your relationship. We'll do a whole episode over that. But basically, for her being a detail-oriented person and you appreciating that is super dope. Just continue to appreciate that. And I love that. Like, I think that's great.
I think also to mention though, he does try.
I do be trying.
And I think that in itself is awesome. Because there are things that I'm not great at, and it's like he's awesome at them, and it's like I would say the same thing. Like I'm terrible at whatever it is, and it's like, well, you know, at least you can try and make the effort.
Trying, so
it's okay if all that comes out is a try.
Now, switching to the communication aspect that they touched
things
on.
Things to work on.
And we'll make it as direct as possible, so we can get you in and get you out. But for me, expectation management. For me, that's what stood out to me the most. And I know that I learned a lot about expectation management in dealing with my daughter, our daughter, more primarily. The beautiful thing about it is like sometimes her being a toddler, there's a limited capacity of what she can understand as a little human being whose mind is developing. My expectation has to be in the place that she's actually in order for my request to be fulfilled. I can't ask her to reach to a lofty height without first understanding that that's not where she's at. And I think sometimes as adults in relationships, we get caught up in someone reaching a lofty height without having undergone the experience to come to that conclusion, or the understanding to come to what it is that you're trying to convey. And so for me, expectation management is more or less about understanding my spouse, the experiences that she's undergone concerning what I'm upset or struggling to understand through our relationship. And I know for me, like something that I'm very I guess focused on is consistency. Like consistency is, if it were a love language for work ethic, it would be that. And me and Maddie have had several small tips and conversations about it, but I had to understand how she viewed her art just as a dancer. For a while, we did a long stint of videos in Greenville, and for her, and this is just something that I had to understand, art is a very personal thing. So while it can and it does have moments of consistency, it's more so connected to the feeling, being able to understand that, so it can't be manufactured. It's spiritual, you know what I mean? And it's spiritual for me, but it's also a component of like the way that I grew up. It lends itself to always being on your guard, because you might be, you know, in a battle and you never know. And so like just understanding the thought process will help with expectation management. And so that's my piece on that.
That's cool.
What do you think?
For me, I think it's important that there's never any assumptions in communication. And so I know that because I've done it before.
I've done it
We've
too.
all done it before.
Yeah,
where it's like you assume that you either know something that your partner is thinking, or you assume that they know what you're thinking and or how you're feeling, and not clearly and concisely communicating that is, I feel like, where a lot of kinks are in the rope. Like, there's problems with communication. Like, you know, it's one of those things where you have to look and see, you know, how clear you're being. Are you making assumptions about your partner? Is your partner making assumptions about you? Just being able to say black and white, this is how I feel.
Ask the question.
Or ask the question, black and white.
Like, even if you get your feelings hurt, like, it's better. It's better that way, because the truth will set you free, not the lie.
Because there have been some times even where in my head I've thought, oh, he's mad at me, or he's upset at me, or whatever. And it's like nothing's wrong. But I assumed he was, and so then I acted accordingly, which is immature, to be like, oh, he's upset with me. And it's like, he was never upset with me, but now there's this tension. Because I assumed something, rather than just saying, hey, are you mad at me? You know, and maybe he would say yes, but then at least I knew. If he said, well, no, then it's like, oh, okay. Well, now I can't create any scenarios in my head because you just answered it honestly. And if he is mad at me, I can say, hey, why are you mad at me? And he can tell me why. And it might hurt my feelings. He's probably thinking of a specific time right now. That's why he's laughing.
No. I'm just saying,
assumption.
I know, assumption. But check this out. This is the honest to God's truth. My question is, are you mad at me? No. And then if there's a no, then my follow-up is, okay, well then what's up with the attitude? Like, that's where I go. That's the reason why I was laughing, because that's my method of dealing with it. Like, be as specific as possible.
Just don't make assumptions. Be super clear as much as you can, and investigate.
Alrighty then. Now, guys, we are wrapping up today's episode, talking with teammates. I've been your lovely host, Jarell, and this is my lovely, thank you so much, this is my lovely wife, Madeline. But before we go, we want to issue the challenge of the week. Challenge of the week. And basically what we want you to do is, as a family, we are so concerned with strengthening families across the globe, with just positivity, love, and kindness. And so what we want you to do is, if you're watching this video, we want you to compliment your spouse. We want you to tag them in this post and say something so that people know this awesome thing about your spouse. Say, you're very kind, you're very loving, I love how you provide for our family. Doesn't matter if they're boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, whatever. We just want you to flood the comment section with just good things about your spouse.
And tag them. Be sure to tag them.
Show them publicly that you care for them, that you're willing to step out on a limb, and just show them that, you know, they're an amazing person and you are happy that they're in your life, and we think that'll add value to your relationship, as I will comment for her. So yeah, that's awesome. The challenge of the week. Yeah.
Cool. So I want to give a couple of reminders. Last midweek check-in, we talked about everything that's going on in the world right now, and the police brutality. We talked about the marching. We talked about just this conversation of Black Lives Matter.
And they do.
And they do. So we came up with this just basically small solution of having these pins. If you watched, you can see them. We'll flash up the little.
I'll put it up again.
I'll put up the graphic again so you can see them. So just a reminder, we still have those if you would like to use them. Like we said before, this is just as a tool. Please comment, PM, whatever. They're just $5 to cover shipping and the cost to make them. And yeah, so let us know if you'd like one. The second thing is we are doing summer camp.
Summer camp with Express Vibe.
If you guys
Express
know
Vibe.
us, if you know Express Vibe, you know that we're dancing, we're having fun. It is actually a dance and theater camp experience.
Yes.
So
it's not just dance anymore. It's
not
theater.
just
We're
dance, it's
expanding.
theater also,
Like we
and,
love theater.
you
We're
know,
just huge fans.
Yes. And so we're in Austin, Texas, like we said in our last
ATX.
episode. We're possibly going to have a couple others in different areas of Texas, but right now we're for sure in Austin. We have 2 weeks. We'll post the flyer below. If you know anybody here, if you're in Austin and you have a child from 6 to 16 and you're like, I need them to do something this summer, sign up.
Yeah,
so
and we may extend it too as well. So
yes.
The age group.
Oh,
range.
of course. Yeah. If you have someone they're 17 and they love theater and dance, sign them up anyways, okay? So yeah, if you want, you have something or you have someone who needs to be in camp, sign them up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's all.
Prayer.
Yes, let's pray.
God, thank you so much for all of the families who are out there under the instruction of our voice, God. We just pray that this be a platform where people can get filled, where they can experience life and joy and family legacy, God, that everyone who comes is renewed in their mind, in their body, in their soul, in their spirit. We pray for the nation that we, instead of making assumptions about what people feel, that we're bold enough to have conversations that empower us as a people to move forward in the progression and the stopping of racial injustice, inequalities, and police brutality. God, we pray for our brothers and sisters on the front line, whether they were essential workers or the protesters, God, that there just be a peace that protects them, and that they go to the protest with the intention of having pure hearts to stopping this madness, God. We just bless those who are here with us, and we just ask that the week be prosperous, that their marriages and their relationships, that their families be strengthened, and that we're able to be a conduit for you to speak. We love you, we thank you, and we glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you again to Joe and Mar for being part of this episode.
First
we love
guest,
you guys.
we love you, and guys, take it easy. Have an awesome week.
Thank you for
and
being here.
I'm about to tut on y'all.
We're a family, yeah. Team Rochelle. You rolling with Team Rochelle. Yeah, yeah.